Hi, y'all, and welcome to the Final Deposition. This show is brought to you by the students of Widener University Commonwealth Law School. I'm your host for this episode, Jerica Brock, and we are formed by former Penn State Defensive Tackle Alonzo Ford. He is here with his agent, Kevin Gold, from Pillar Ought. Kevin also teaches here at the law school and is a proud alum. Alrighty, Alonzo, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you here on the podcast with us. We just want to know, can we just start off with hearing a little bit about you?
My name is Alonzo Ford. I'm from Richmond, Virginia originally. Started off playing football around the age of 5 or 6. Let that carry myself up to college. And I started my college career actually in Old Domain University down in Norfolk, Virginia, and transferred up to Penn State University back in 2023. And from there, I've just been at Penn State grinding and trying to make some things happen from there.
Making something shake, I see.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So you kind of touched on it just a little bit. So you're from Virginia and you started off your collegiate career in Virginia as well. What was that experience like for you?
For me, coming out of high school, I had about 18 or 19 offers. So it was an abundance of schools to really kind of choose from. And for me, it was like, I don't know what to do. Like, that was just too much going on for me a lot. I didn't really understand the differences in them. So I went with a school that I thought I would be able to get the most playtime in and kind of relatively close to home to my parents and family. I have older grandparents, so they can all travel and be able to make it to games and things like that. So that's what kind of played a factor into it for me, going to school in Virginia, not too far away from home.
That's great. So is family really important to you? Is that how connected are they now that you transferred up into Penn State?
Yeah, no, family's definitely a huge thing for me. I'll say Penn State does a great job of being able to incorporate your family in travel and things like that, along with your football benefits, I guess I call them.
Right.
So yeah, my family is always up for games every weekend and coming to visit me and things like that. Just coming out for vacation and just finding some time to relax for themselves as well. So huge part of my life.
Yeah. So of course I did a little digging. So I saw that in high school you were a two-way lineman there. And then of course, once you got started into college, and then of course what you're most known for now, your position as a defensive tackle. But what was that transition like from playing both sides of the ball and then having to solely focus on just the defensive aspect of the game?
For me originally it was a bit of a relief because all throughout high school it's kind of a D lineman's dream to be able to just play defensive line in high school. It's not a lot of people get the opportunity to do that. So then when I had the opportunity in college to just focus on defensive line and really perfect that craft, it was a relief for me, I feel like, and I was able to more focus on the one thing to develop opposed to trying to develop two things at once throughout high school.
Yeah. So was that your position of choice?
Yeah, definitely was my position of choice.
That's great. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned, of course, that you started at Old Dominion. That's great. But what was that transfer process like? I mean, I know that was the choice for you at that point in time, but you did make the transition into moving up and start going to Penn State. So what did that transfer process look like? The transfer portal. So what was that? What was that like for you?
Yeah, the infamous transfer portal. So I mean, it's an interesting thing. For a lot of kids, it can either be a very good thing or it can be a sort of you're in the limbo. You don't know where you're going to go if you're going to have an opportunity whenever you get out of the thing. So for me, it was a very positive experience, I'll say. I got a lot of schools contacting me, wanting me to go to their school. A few different schools from different conferences, so like the SEC, ACC, and things like that. So I had the choice to really pick where I wanted to play ball, the kind of education I wanted to get, and the kind of coaching staff I wanted to be around. So I felt like it was a big thing for me coming to Penn State with the family environment of the coaching staff they provided, and then the education also provided at Penn State. So, I mean, it was just a real positive experience for me, I feel like, to be able to upgrade myself and put myself in position to have new opportunities.
That's awesome. Can you speak to your education a little bit? I saw, of course, I think, did you graduate just this past
Yes, ma'am.
winter? Yeah. So what'd you major in? What was that educational experience like?
So for me, I originally got a bachelor's degree in criminology back in 2024. And then for my last year, I came back again. I got another bachelor's degree in sociology.
That's awesome.
So double majored up. And then, I mean, it was just a fun experience being able to really explore the things that I like in life. I'm a big, true crime shows type of guy and police shows, things like that. So being able to learn the law a little bit and how to enforce it and things like that and how everything kind of works.
Hey, I'm here, right? I mean, that's
He's a
kind
lawyer.
of, I mean, I'm here, right? And
Yeah.
kind of that same mindset. So as far as, I imagine the coaching staffs were a little bit different, of course, between that transition, and of course, you didn't start your career with Penn State. So what was that transition like for you? I know you were kind of talking about how great the coaching staff sounded at first. Did they live up to those expectations, and how did they welcome you into that Penn State family?
So a kind of a weird thing I would say that not everybody gets to experience is my coaches from Old Dominion came from Penn State.
Oh,
So they're all
okay.
kind of under the same coaching tree.
Hmm.
So it was kind of a smoother transition for me because I was already kind of used to the things they were going to do and expect from me, coaching wise and just culture wise. I mean, it was a better transition for me because I had a couple guys that was from Richmond, from my area. It kind of helped me adjust to the culture, and then coming in, Coach Franklin was very similar to Coach Ronnie back at Old Dominion. So it was a very easy transition, I would say, and good adjustment.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad that was very smooth for you. I know you had
Yeah.
like a lot of success there at Penn State as well. But briefly talking about your transition there, I know you experienced an injury shortly after that transfer happened, and that kept you out for the 2023 season and then into the spring 2024 season. So how did that make you feel? You know, like you transferred, you like did great things getting into Penn State, getting into the program, but then you suffered an injury. So can you talk about that experience a little bit?
I would definitely say it was a great mental challenge for me and also for my people around me because it was something I've never experienced before, missing a football game because of injury.
Mm.
I've always been a tough kid to kind of just push through things and figure a way out to get it done. So when I had this injury that I couldn't just push through or just fight to get through, it kind of put me in a dark place mentally for a little while. So I mean, I think that attests again to the culture around Penn State and my support system back at home to kind of help me get through those tough times and get to the other side and just come back to work and just be a positive person within the community still, even though I'm going through something dark.
Right, right. And then so would you say like the coaching staff and then of course alongside with your family, were they like really big motivating factors? Was anything else kind of like keeping you up through that time?
Yeah, no, I mean definitely the coaching staff, my family, and my friends. My friends played a huge role in that, just coming by the house and checking on me. I mean, I couldn't walk for
Oh,
shoot
right.
like 6 weeks almost. So I'm just riding around on a scooter, trying to get class to class. I have friends come pick me up, take me to class, and things like that. So just that aspect in the Penn State community, like stepping up and when I'm traveling back and forth from games and talking to people, they're like, "Oh man, I had the same injury,"
Mhm.
So it was just like a big community. I felt the community around me a lot. That kind of
That's
helped.
great. Um, that's awesome. And then of course we know you were able to come back top of 2024. You had a good season there. I watched some of your highlights, by the way. So but talking about the most recent season, you guys finished up with winning the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk about like just kind of like that experience, the excitement from that, like transitioning from like being out and experiencing injury, but then like finishing your career with Penn State with such a big win like that.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of a surreal moment for me. I grew up kind of watching baseball a little bit, and being able to play in the Yankee Stadium is not an opportunity everybody gets to do. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that was a very exciting thing for me and my friends to be able to do, and it was a huge thing for the program this year. I mean, we had a kind of a down year, not the best year in recent times. So being able to finish the year out on a high note and get that win against a decent team in Clemson was a huge thing for our program and just for our community to kind of bring the morale back around for a little bit as we go through the transition of getting a new coach and things like that. It definitely helped just be able to get a little hoorah back around State College.
Right, right. So of course this is something that Kevin might laugh at, but I know he can't necessarily solicit his services to you. But how did you guys kind of get involved with each other?
Me and Kevin.
Yeah.
So I was dealing with a different agent that was really good friends with him. So I mean, once me and him stopped kind of doing business together, he kind of put me in touch with Kevin and told me he was a good recommendation, a great person, and he previously worked with one of my teammates as well, Salim Wormley. So I already kind of have familiarity with him through that. So it was just a connection between that and him working with a previous teammate to kind of put us together.
That's great. That's great. And then if you don't mind, I'm actually going to ask Kevin a question here for a second.
Okay.
What is that agent role like for you?
Yeah, it's it's interesting. I kind of view myself as almost like the CEO of a player. So you're like the chief executive officer. So your goal, because I've been an agent for an awful long time, over 30 years, I've seen and done everything at least once. Whereas in Alonzo's case, this is his first time declaring for the draft. You only get one shot at it. So I think it's just having that experience to help a player navigate this process. You see it on TV and you see teammates go through it, but it's another thing to do it yourself. So you're almost it almost becomes one of your children, and you're trying to help them navigate this exciting and stressful process. And so that's the part I like is helping a player fulfill their dream. Most most high school players, most Pop Warner players, they want to be in the NFL. And so being able to help somebody achieve their lifelong dream, that's why I've been doing it for all these years.
That's great. So, now, of course, I know, right, that you're registered with the NFL as a certified agent.
I'm an NFLPA certified contract advisor. Yes,
excuse
correct.
me, that's the formal name.
There you
go. So how did you get to that formal certification with the NFL?
Yeah, so back when I did it, back in the day, I came out of law school, wanted to be an agent, and the NFL had a certification program at that time. So I've been registered or certified with the NFLPA since the mid '90s. Back then, all you had to do was fill out an application and you wrote them a check and you were certified. Now, because of the prevalence of so many agents and it being such a cutthroat industry and more people wanting to get in the business, they've made the barriers to becoming an agent much more difficult. So, for example, in the NFL, if you want to represent a player now, you have to have more than a bachelor's degree. So you need to have a law degree or an MBA or substantial business experience. You need to pass an exam and a background check. So when I did it, it was a little bit easier. You fill out a form and write a check. Now they've made the standards much more difficult. It's background checks, having an advanced degree, passing a closed book exam. It really has become a very tough process now. And for good reason. They want to make sure that the people who are advising NFL clients are the most qualified and have the best credentials and know what they're doing.
Right. So you are a lawyer, right?
And I am a lawyer. I went to Widener Law Commonwealth back in the early 90s.
So alongside being an agent, you actually also work with Pillar Odd.
Yeah, so I have my own law firm that set up about 9-10 years ago. Before that, I was at a big firm in Harrisburg, and a group of us decided that we wanted to do our own thing. So we set up Pillar Odd, going on about 10 years. It's nice to have my own firm with people that I've worked with, and everybody enjoys working with each other. So yeah, I call that kind of my day job. As being a lawyer, I do a lot of employment law and intellectual property, and then the other part of my practice is representing athletes like Alonzo.
Right. And then so Alonzo, back to you. I know you said how you got introduced with Kevin and stuff like that, but after you guys kind of formed y'all's relationship, well, how has that been thus far?
It's been great. I mean, he's provided me with some opportunities to help me present myself to NFL teams in different ways. And I feel like that's been a thing I'm very grateful for. He helps with a lot of different things when it comes to contracts, just shoot regular life advice if you need it. He's there for it. So he's kind of like the go-to guy for everything right now for me going through this process. So it was a big help, definitely, with him.
When did y'all's relationship, was that after the bowl game, or was that earlier this year?
Yeah, I think it was like after the bowl game, right around the bowl game time, later into the season type of time. Mm-hmm. So like that December, and November type of time.
Because officially we can't sign with each other until his eligibility is done. So we may have been talking before the bowl game, but it didn't officially sign till after the lawnmower Pinstripe Bowl to get the full name. I forget the full name. The sponsor keeps changing. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah,
that's a mouthful.
Get them some extra pub.
Yeah. And then so, of course, at the top of the year, you declared for the NFL draft. So what all went into that decision for you?
So for me, I mean, it's just been, I've done 6 years of college football. So it's been a lot. I mean, but also I think I've exhausted my eligibility. It's coming around. So I feel like I'm ready for the opportunity to go and try NFL out and see what it makes.
Yeah. Was that a solo decision? Did you talk with Kevin at all, or your family? Or
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just talked through it a little bit with everybody. But I mean, it was kind of already like the consensus known thing we were going to declare this year. So
the most logical next step at
yes,
that point. Right. Yeah. No, that's great. And how's that preparation gone for you?
It's been pretty good. So I was up in New Jersey training at Test Academy. So I was up there training, and then I came down and had my pro day, a week ago, and I did pretty well at the pro day. So it's just going step by step and doing your best throughout those steps, and just going to these teams, meeting with the coaches and things like that, and just putting your best foot forward.
Okay. And then that training experience, how long was that process? Because you're completely done with the educational aspect of that. Is that correct? So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
just are full-time training
Yes,
for
ma'am.
everything? Okay. What has that been like?
So I think the training for like the pro day thing was a 8 week kind of a circuit of a test, and I mean it was good training. I mean, you just kind of come in, you work out for a couple days. I mean, throughout the day, and then you kind of go back and you recover, eat, and you kind of want to just get your mental right. I feel like your mental being a big thing kind of can hold you back or can help you excel within this process. So working on your mental, I did a lot in my room, just thinking about the rest of the things I'm going to do, thinking about the conversations I'm going to have with these execs and coaches when it comes to the time to do those things, and it's just preparing yourself for it is a big thing. I would say definitely.
Okay. And then before you got up to New Jersey and then just kind of like in between that time, was there any other preparation that you had to do? Like I know you talked a lot about the mental aspect of it, but did anything else go into that?
Yeah, I mean, we did a Senior Bowl sort of thing with the
Hmm.
CGS Bowl.
Hmm.
Kevin got us opportunity to go there and perform in front of scouts. So that was another huge thing I was saying, and it was in Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth. Yep.
Yep, it was in Fort Worth, Texas. So when it did that, I feel like it was a good experience and got to talk to a lot of different coaches and see where their minds were at as far as me in this process and how they viewed how we played last season and things like that. So I feel like it was a great experience and kind of prepared me to go into the next step of, all right, prepare your mind now and your body for the next step, which is going to be pro day for me.
Right. Did any of that advice, like, I know you said it kind of like prepped you mentally to an extent, but like, did they give you any like practical advice? Like kind of what was that point that they were emphasizing for you?
Are you saying like the training or going into the training?
Going into the training. So like
Yeah,
post Senior Bowl, after your conversation with those coaches that were there, and then
yeah.
that kind of interim.
I mean, for me, it was a lot of just feedback, I guess, as to how they think I might need to change my body and change my diet and things like those. And it was kind of things I already had in mind, and me and Kevin kind of discussed already going into training. So, and kind of discussed when it came to choosing where I was going to train at as well.
Hmm.
So that's another big factor. You have a lot of different options of where you're going to train at, and everybody has a different way how they do it. So you got to kind of pick what fits you. So I
Right.
feel like we sat down for a little bit, kind of discussed what was going to be best for me and where to go. So we chose tests and things like that, and just yeah, I mean the feedback kind of gave me an insight into what I need to do as far as eating and slim my body up a little bit, getting a little bit more muscle and things along that line. But it was good feedback. That's it. That's it.
As far as that compatibility aspect that you're talking about, as far as the training facility you chose, what made them the most compatible for you?
I would say they have more of a focus on the location that I was at of
Mhm.
like bigger guys, O linemen and D linemen.
Right.
Yeah, so they work more with those guys, the bigger guys, and getting their technique down and change the direction and things like that. Because it's not really easy for us bigger guys to kind of move side to side fast.
Yeah,
That
I've
takes a bit
seen
of
the
work.
moves.
Yeah.
I've seen the moves. That what is it, two step or something like that? You gotta do
Yeah,
that
so, mhm.
backward shuffle thing. I think
Did your homework.
I my cousin played O line. That's all
Oh,
I
okay.
got, and I've seen him
Okay.
trying to do that shuffle thing, and I was like, look, not for me. Um, and then Kevin, what was your role as far as this draft preparation goes for
Yeah, I
him?
mean, again, the goal is to kind of prepare him for everything so he knows what to expect. Once the season ends, your goal is to try and get into an all-star game to get initial exposure. So I helped him get into the CGS All-Star game, which again is helping him get more exposure to NFL teams. Um, Again, teams have watched your film, they know a little bit about you, but the All-Star games are really the first chance where they get to kind of sit down and talk with you in a one-on-one setting. So I think a player like Alonzo, obviously he showed what he can do on film. I think when a team sits down and looks him in the eye and talks to him, they see what kind of person they're getting. So guiding him through that process, the All-Star game, getting him ready for pro day, choosing tests as the facility. I'll be honest with you, a lot of players, they want to go to California. They want to go to Arizona. They want to go to Texas. They're not necessarily clamoring to go to New Jersey. But to me, if a player is willing to go to New Jersey to do his training, I know it's serious. I view it, it's a business trip. It's about enhancing your skills. It's about putting yourself in the best position for the draft. So if you're willing to go to New Jersey in the middle of January and February to train, I know you're committed to it. And so now the process, with all that done and with Pro Day done last week, I'm just getting him ready for the draft. Right at the end of April, we're in a situation where there's a chance he gets drafted late, but most likely he's going to be what's called a high priority free agent, which means right as the draft's ending, teams can all try to make an offer to convince him to sign with them. So it's getting prepared for that process and knowing where the best opportunities are and getting his medical records together, answering any questions that NFL teams may have about him and his background. So.
That's awesome. So as far as, I mean, I know you were talking just about the preparation and things that go into that, but is there any like particular like agent knowledge that you have that might not be all that particular to like each individual player that you're working with?
Yeah, I mean, the advantage, as I kind of alluded to before, each player goes through this draft once. I've been doing it for 35 years, so you've kind of, and I'm kind of famous for my preparation, and I'm famous for my binders. So I have everything all ready to go that draft weekend, because it's an incredible stressful time for players. They're anxious. They want to know where they're going to go. And so my job is to put them at ease, help them navigate that process. And if he's not, look, if you're drafted in the NFL, you get told where you're going to work. If Minnesota drafts you, guess what? You're going to Minnesota. If Green Bay wants you, you're going to Green Bay. If not, and if you're undrafted, then you have a choice. So my goal is to kind of prepare him for those situations. Where's the best opportunity? What are the teams that have shown the most interest? And more importantly, where's the best chance to make a roster and start getting paid and becoming a professional player?
That's good. That's good to know for me.
And for him.
And for you, of course. Yeah. You might have already had that spiel. But I mean, of course, now, Alonzo, for yourself, you're right now no longer a Penn State football player. But how have they like kind of helped you, or have they helped you? Like what is the how's the football program like continue to assist you before and during for preparation for the draft?
Yeah, so I mean, the program has been a big help. I feel like just being of use to me. I mean,
a resource.
Yeah, it's been a big resource for us still. I mean, we went through a coaching change, of course, so it's a little bit different trying to still come to the building and learn the new guys and new coaches and things like that. But they've been very big on like, don't be afraid to come to them to ask if you need anything. Mm-hmm. And they're here to help us if we need anything throughout the process when it comes to talking NFL scouts or setting up drills and things like that. They've been a big help and very friendly people, I would definitely say. So there's a big help in that way. And when it comes to like getting your body right and things like that, they're still there to help you rehab and let you use the facilities for cold tubs and stuff like that as well. So it's a great resource.
That does sound like an amazing resource.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine no matter who the coaches are, they want to see all their players succeed. So that's great that they still kind of welcome y'all and allow y'all into the facilities and things of that nature. So, I mean, of course, Alonzo, you've just heard Kevin talk about his amazing skills. So can you speak to him?
I didn't call them amazing, but okay.
I will call them amazing. Kevin's amazing skills. But how do you notice Kevin's efforts as far as helping in preparation for you? Do you notice anything?
Yeah, I definitely notice. I mean, even when it comes down to just the little things of getting in contact with coaches and stuff like that, or him prepping me, I mean, a lot of stuff is honestly like, what can he do to help ease my mind and make my life a little bit easier throughout the process? So for me, it's a lot of coming to him and whenever I need something. So I might have to meet with a coach come next week or something like that. I'm going to get on the phone with him and say, hey, how do I prepare for this? What type of things should I be discussing and not discussing? And just that whole, so the flow of those conversations and stuff like that, you kind of can just practice with him beforehand so you can be on top of your game and put your best foot forward when it comes to the time to present yourself.
That's awesome. So now a lot of people probably might know what Pro Day is already, but can you kind of explain to us kind of like, not necessarily the training aspect of it, but
yeah,
what the whole idea or concept of Pro Day is? Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, so Pro Day is going to be when your college hosts a day where the seniors that are participating and trying out for the NFL draft are going to perform in front of NFL scouts. So for our school, I believe we had all 32 this year. So you have all 32 teams coming out, and they all kind of just sit there and they time you. They get there on times on your 4-yard dash and your 5-10-5, your 3-cone and things like that. Those are just different drills where you can show off your athletic ability a little bit. And then, yeah, you go through a little bit of positional drills and you kind of meet with the coaches along those lines. In the back rooms, you do a little bit of getting on the board and writing down plays and things along those matters. Things are like that. I'm sorry. And yeah, so it's a big showcase, really, honestly, for you to show your skills, meet the coaches, for them to get a little bit of your personality and see how you interact with the people around you within the building and how you are with your teammates out there performing and your confidence and things like that. It's a big evaluation.
Mm-hmm. How did that feel to go through the whole concept and idea of pro day with those players that you've been with for the last few years? Like, how did that feel to kind of like come to that high point in your career with all of those players?
I would honestly say it was a bit of a relief. Building up into it, it was kind of like you have like a bit of an anxious thought in the back of your mind about it, but it's something you've been doing for me since I was 5 years old. So it's like getting into the moment and actually being on my feet where at and thinking about it's like, cool, it's not that big of a deal. Like, go out here and perform. You do this thing every day. So it was a big relief, I feel like, for me and a lot of my teammates to just finally get to the moment, to be able to go out there and put your best foot forward and not necessarily have to think about it in the back of your mind at all times. Mm-hmm. Worry about how it's going to go and what things could possibly go wrong. Is just no, be clear, go forward, and put your best foot forward.
Okay. So now that Pro Day has passed, what has happened since then for you?
For me, really, it's been just talking to coaches. I went to a visit with the Jets for a local day visit. So we went there, met with the coaching staff, met with the vice presidents and things like that, and the head coaches, and just got to meet people. I mean, it's a great experience. I mean, not everybody gets to go and walk into an NFL facility. So, I mean, you never know if it's going to be your last time ever being around football. I mean, honestly, in all honesty, it could very much be anybody's last time before the draft, or the draft could go completely wrong and you're never going to play football ever again or be able to have the opportunities to meet those people. So I've just been very grateful for the opportunity to go meet those people and talk to the coaches and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And then, so Kevin, for you, like post Pro Day, has anything changed for you on your side, or kind of what does that look like now?
Yeah, it's going to get busy soon. And as I prepare Alonzo Ford, he's got another visit coming up. He'll be at the Giants facility in a couple of weeks. And then as we get closer to the draft is at the end of April in Pittsburgh this year. About a week or two before the draft, that's when teams are going to be calling me. They're going to be calling Alonzo. They're going to be asking Alonzo, hey, are you in shape? Are you ready to go? Any injuries? Have you been arrested? They're going to ask him what other teams is he talking to, and he's going to list all the teams he's talking to. Tip for you there. But yeah, as we're getting ready for the draft, it's managing the feedback from teams, preparing the player so his expectations are set and their family as to what to expect that weekend. And trying to find the best fit, because again, as Alonzo mentioned, and he's smart to mention it, for a lot of players, this is going to be the last time they play football. And so when you have one shot at it, again, if you're not drafted and you're an undrafted free agent, you get to pick your opportunity. And we want to make sure that we're picking the right opportunity. It's great to get into an NFL training camp and sign a contract, but the real goal is to be on that 53-man roster come September. And so the preparation is, what do we do to make sure we put Alonzo in the best position to be on a roster come September 1st. Mm-hmm.
And Alonzo, so as far as like, because we are kind of in like a waiting period, of course, until the end of April. So how are you keeping yourself busy? Like, how are you just kind of trying to stay as positive and as focused as we can, like during this time?
Really for me, it's just waking up in the morning, make me a good little breakfast, say my prayers and things like that, and then I go work out at the facility and then do my workout, get a bit of recovery in, come home, eat, relax, might play the game a little bit. But I'm also in like a great area within State College, so I can go out and look at the mountains and just relax and decompress a little bit. I feel like that's been a big thing for me in the last couple of weeks, just being able to go and kind of enjoy life, not having too many responsibilities right now with school and things like that. I haven't really had the opportunity in the last 5 or 6 years to kind of chill and relax. So I've been taking a big advantage of that right now while I have the opportunity to.
I mean, that's good to hear. I mean, there are some great views out here in Pennsylvania, just in general. Some that are new to me, but there are some great views out here. And how has your family been with you throughout this point? How have they been?
Yeah, they've been pretty good. I mean, my mom just got married a couple weeks ago too, so that's been an exciting time for her, just doing that, and then me in this process as well. So it's been exciting for my family. They've been all in behind it, supporting me, and they just want to see me succeed. So they're just doing whatever they can to help me succeed right now. Whether that be taking care of like little things, so I don't have to have too much on my plate when it comes to paying like speeding tickets or things like that. Or, you know.
No speeding tickets.
Yeah, no tickets, no tickets.
No speeding tickets.
So I'll give you one to end with, and some NFL teams may have asked you this, but it's a very common question that teams will ask players. So we'll ask for purposes of this podcast: what is an NFL team getting if they draft or sign Alonzo Ford at the end of next month?
The team is definitely going to be getting a high character person, high level player, and somebody that's dependable and, you know what I'm saying, able to go out there and do what you need at all times, no matter what. Going to be a tough, dependable person and a player, and a great locker room guy as well. I mean, I'm a great person. My friends around me, they all call me back from 5-6 years ago. They still call me like just to talk about everyday life and things like that. I'm a great person, a great ear, great listener. So I mean, just a great person overall and a hard worker.
So I'll ask one other question. I'm a sports law professor here, so I teach a sports law class. And just the last class, I mentioned about some of the strange questions that NFL teams will ask prospects. And it's been a controversial issue. In fact, the NFL had to issue guidance to teams a few years ago saying, hey, you're not allowed to ask these type of questions of a player, but maybe it still happens. So the question I always like to ask my clients, what is the strangest question that an NFL team has asked you so far?
I had a scout once ask me, have you ever been wrong? Or it was something along those lines. Like, have you ever been wrong, or have you ever have you ever done something and thought you were wrong about it? And I'm just like, yeah.
Yesterday.
Of course. Like, you ever had a conversation and you got two different opinions and you've been wrong? I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, we all been wrong about some things. We all make mistakes, so of course.
Yeah, again, those NFL teams, they think they have these great questions because they're trying to figure out what makes you tick, right?
Yeah.
They can watch the film and they can look you in the eye, but they're trying to catch you off guard. They want to see what your real character is. So they'll often try to ask questions that are going to catch you off guard, but you cannot catch Alonzo Ford off guard. He's
prepared as always.
Always.
Good agent training him.
Yep, we try.
Yeah. Alrighty, thank you, Alonzo, so much for joining us today on the Final Deposition with Widener Law Commonwealth. We appreciate your time, and of course, good luck and great success to you and the NFL. Thank you.
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.